Do you guys ever feel like designing your labels is a daunting task? Or maybe you're afraid to buy your labels in bulk because it can be expensive. Hi everyone, welcome back. In the past, I have talked about two ways that I create labels for my candle business. Some of the labels I create, depending on the volume I need, I design and have printed from an online print lab. But in other scenarios, I design my labels at home as well as print my own labels at home using blank labels and my own printer. So if you are someone else that wants the convenience and flexibility of printing your own labels at home for your own products, and you don't know where to start, then hopefully this video helps you, because today we're going to be talking about the sponsor of today's video, which is OnlineLabels.com, who I have used for several years now. Actually, really as long as I can remember for the length of this business. By the way, we're also going to chat a little bit about printers towards the end as well. We're going to jump right in, and we're going to basically follow this outline. First, we're going to talk about why it's so important to create good quality labels. Next, some of the key benefits and advantages of printing your own labels at home. 3, a bit of a tutorial walkthrough of how you can use OnlineLabels.com to help you print your labels at home, as well as highlight some of the main features of using specifically online labels. And then finally, we're going to chat a little bit about those printers that I mentioned. All right, you're standing in a store, you're in the candle aisle, and you're looking for that perfect candle that you want to take home. You see rows and rows of these candles, but you're having a hard time really finding ones that stick out. A lot of them just kind of blend together, but then certain ones just kind of jump out at you. Because if one doesn't jump out at you, there's really no discernible way to know the difference between them sitting on a shelf. We all know that there's a lot when it comes to candles. Fragrance type, the strength of the fragrance when the candle is burning. There's a lot of things that customers care about when they're burning a candle. But the first thing you're going to do, the first thing you're going to notice is the way it looks. And that is why the importance of a good quality label, or at least something that fits your brand and your niche and gets some traction, is really important. And what stands out and catches the eyes of certain customers is going to depend on the customer. Not all customers are drawn to the same thing. The label could be minimalistic. The label could be a certain color. The label could mention certain ingredients that are important to certain customers. Or maybe instead of a fragrance name, the candle just has a hilarious saying instead. The point is there's going to be something different, and the idea of these labels is to make you curious, make you want to pick up the candle and check it out even further. Good labeling isn't just about standing out from the competition, though. It's also about branding and marketing your business. First impression is important, and you want to make sure that you have a good one. Let's talk about some of the benefits of printing them at home. First is flexibility. Printing your labels at home offers you the flexibility to print exactly what you need when you need it. If you want to change a scent name or update your branding, you can print what you need without having to worry about minimum order requirements from an online print lab. And then of course is convenience. No more waiting on a print lab to get your order, approve that order, wait for those to ship, finally arrive, and then hope they're just as you expected. You can print them from home, how you want them and when you want them. And if you don't like something, you can change it and do it all again. But one thing that often goes forgotten is the cost effectiveness. Now, hear me out here, because if you use an online print lab and you're buying your labels in bulk, large volume, you will get unmatched pricing when using those print labs. For example, some of my collections, I order 10,000 labels at a time. And when I'm doing that, I'm getting those labels for cents on the dollar. It's a fantastic deal. And if you're going to do a large run, then that makes a lot of sense. But most people aren't at that stage. They're not needing to print 10,000 of the same exact label. So in that case, upfronting the amount of money, the investment it would take to order that large quantity at once, even though the cost per label is cheaper, is a large, heavy investment from the get-go. So the cost-effective benefit of printing at home is you only print what you need. You might spend a little bit more per label, but you're not spending near as much to get going. And by using OnlineLabels.com to purchase your blank labels in any size and variation you need, which we'll talk about here shortly, you're getting ridiculously low prices even at a low quantity. But if you prefer having them printed for you, well, guess what? They still do that as well. You can use OnlineLabels.com to print your own labels at home, or you can use their printing service just like any other print lab. However, for me, the advantage, the power has always been in purchasing their blank labels, designing and then printing them at home or from your office. All right, let's hop into OnlineLabels.com and let's go through the process. We're going to look at some of the options and styles and how to basically purchase these labels, and then we're going to pretend using some mock-up designs or even some templates that they offer. They also offer a ton of templates to help you kind of get going. And we're going to walk through the process of using their built-in designer on their website to help you customize and design your labels, and then basically how to print them. The first step is to choose the right label shape, size, and material for your candles. OnlineLabels.com offers a wide range of options. They offer clear, white, matte, glossy, eco-friendly options, all from recycled materials. They offer a ton of different choices for the type of paper that you want. In fact, they also even offer these aggressive matte white labels, which I actually use to pack my wicks that I sell to you other candle makers as well. The reason I like those is those labels will stick very, very well to like hard to stick to surfaces, such as plastic bags. Those labels will stick on and they just do not come off like a standard label would. So again, they offer a huge selection, and I go through tons of these labels on a monthly basis. Okay, so let's walk through a few mock-ups. So I'm gonna grab some template here and show you how easily it is to use a template and then to modify that template as you want. So if we just go here to Online Labels, you can see you've got blank labels, blank sheets, blank rolls, trending product labels, and use cases. You can see some of the features include no minimum orders, lowest price guarantee, design and templates. And if we take a look at some of their materials, here you will see the different materials that OnlineLabels offers. They've got standard white, matte, white label, gloss, inkjet, laser. They've got metallic labels, pastel, fluorescent, clear, miscellaneous, custom colors, and even specialty label materials such as iron-on, cardstock, chalkboard, weatherproof, magnetic. On the left, you can filter by the type of properties that you might be interested in, and even that adhesive properties. For example, adhesive, removable, or non-adhesive. Here's all your different color options. We can also take a look at the different sizes that OnlineLabels offers. All your standard label sizes, as well as pretty much any other shape and size that you might possibly want. You can really decide how to use OnlineLabels, whatever that makes sense for you. Then you also have designs and templates. And if you click on design and templates, this can launch the label designer, which we will be using here shortly. But we can take a look with pre-designed templates, ideas and inspiration, or you can start from scratch with a blank label. And I'll show you a few different ways to do it, whether you're going to design one from scratch or upload one that you've designed elsewhere. So once you're on OnlineLabels.com, you can, like we talked about earlier, go ahead and start with the blank labels and choose your size, materials, shape, however you want to get started. If you are brand new, you can create an account, or if you already have an account, you can simply click on your account, choose My Account, and then you can scroll down to Launch Label Designer. Here you can see a bunch of examples, like I mentioned earlier, of me making some labels for my wick bags that I send out to you other makers. But you can also do a blank template where you choose the sheet that you want. And if you already know the sheet that you want or have ordered already, you can simply type that product number in and start from there. If you have some saved designs, you can categorize them as I have done here. And anytime you need to go back to those designs, you simply go and pull it up as you want and print it as needed. Lastly, we can also look at pre-designed templates. For example, let's say I want to search for candle. Here I've got some basic standard circle candle warning labels, or maybe we want to create a new candle product label. So let's find a couple here as just a decent example to start with. This one looks all right. So this is a cinnamon sugar pure soy candle, and it already has 4 colors included. Let's go ahead and hit continue. And then we're going to choose the label that we want. This one looks fine here. Here you can choose a color theme, and it will just go ahead and keep the branding consistent throughout. We're just going to go ahead and leave the original brand. Here on the left is where you would customize these. So if we want to change the name, you can just click in here, like any other label designer, and we can say caramel popcorn, for example, or fallen leaves. Might make sense. We can leave pure soy candle, but of course we can change this. We can change the color. We can change the colors of the different leaves. We can change this. Maybe this is only a 12-ounce candle. We can add shapes and designs. We can upload our own images. We can add some new text by simply adding a new text box. And of course, you can customize the text to different colors and sizes and fonts and so on. And the same thing would be true if we wanted to just create a brand new label. So we might start with a round label. Again, you just add your text and your size and your shapes. It's very, very simple. Let's say though that we already have a design that we want to use ourselves. We've already created it somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this label sheet, for example. And if we click on multi-design, here's where you can choose whether I want to print just one label or I can do the entire sheet. And this is simple. You just click Edit Layout. We're going to blank all of these out, and this would leave this design to only print on these 2. But maybe we want to have 5 different designs on this sheet. Well, you can just hit Update Layout, and then we're going to say Add New Design. Start with blank, and now we're going to make those 2. And just keep doing that, and you can keep adding new designs. And so this, by the time we're all done, you can have 5 different designs, for example, or 10 different designs, or 1 different design on this same sheet. Pretty nifty. And let's say that we already have this design that we want to use. We could simply open this images up, and we could click on one of our designs we've already made. Now this one in particular was made for a different size label, so this isn't really a very good fit for this particular label. but it's not too bad. It's pretty close. You could save your design, export your design, or print design. Now we're going to say print at home or office. This, of course, means we're going to print it ourselves. Pretend that, of course, this label was designed properly for this size, and no matter how many we had printed here. So in this case, we only selected the top 2, but if we had the entire sheet designed, we could print the entire sheet, obviously. And then you just click print. We're going to choose our printer, choose our color. You do not want any scaling. You want it to be at 100% for these type of print jobs, and then you just print your labels and you're good to go. And like I said, it is that easy to either design your labels in the software, or you can design it out elsewhere and just import it in. Actually, that one fits much better. We could have just used that one as our example. Now, this is a very minimalistic, straight, just black and white, or of course, like I showed you earlier, you can use color. You can do whatever you want, and this software makes it extremely easy. If you do run into any kind of issues printing, you can click on File, Print, Alignment Wizard. This will walk you through the steps to make sure that your labels are aligned properly. And if you do need further help, you can choose Help, Printer Alignment, and it will launch a separate guide to help you with any particular printing issues that you may encounter. So whether you want to design this from scratch or you want to design it in Canva or anything else, which I will have links to all of that in the description box below, you can create it here on the website, or you can import your own images and drag and drop it in. It's that simple, and with the flexibility of the different sizes and shapes and options that you have for all your candles or your labels, then the options are pretty much limitless. Couldn't recommend the software enough. You can see it's got great reviews. They're very good quality. These are not like the cheap labels that you would get somewhere else at a local store. They're top-notch quality labels, and I would highly recommend checking them out if you haven't already. All right, so before we talk about printers, the last thing I wanted to remind you of is the best part, in my opinion, when it comes to OnlineLabels.com, besides just the options that you're provided, is the fact that there's no minimum order requirements. You can order as little as you need or as much as you need. Of course, the more you order, the cheaper it is, but the pricing is amazing and you don't have to worry about ordering in bulk to get it. So if you are a new maker, a small business owner, and you're looking at the best way to start making your own custom candle labels, this is seriously one of the best resources you can check out. Like I said, for the bulk of my candle making business career, I've been using OnlineLabels. All right, so let's talk a little bit about printers, because I know a lot of people are curious about what type of printer you should use at home. Well, there's basically 2 primary options, which sort of a third. First is your inkjet printers. Next is your laserjet printers. Those are the 2 most popular. There's also those EcoTank printers that Epson sells as well. Now, a really quick tidbit on those, they are fantastic printers, and the ink is very, very cheap on them, and I use them pretty much daily for minor tasks and just printing off like packing slips, for example. However, in my own experience, the quality of the graphics and color output, basically the overall quality of the printing, isn't quite as good with those. So I don't use those for my actual product labels, but they are still a really, really good, cheap way to get started, because the cost of ink is pretty much nothing. However, with that being said, most people are going to use either laserjet or inkjet for your printers. Now, you can get crazy expensive with these. Enterprise level, high volume, unmatched quality printers, Primera printers, Epson printers, that will do an amazing job, but they can cost you like tens of thousands of dollars. So I assume that most of you watching this are probably wanting to find a more economical way than that to print your labels at home. So I will get to that in just a minute, but let's talk about why you should choose either inkjet or laserjet first, because that's the first decision you have to make. Let's start with inkjet printers. Now, for the most part, at least generically speaking, inkjet printers offer more accurate and more depth of quality and color than laserjet printers. They're often the best choice for detailed or complex graphics, as well as printing photos. And they do a great job at printing labels as well. Inkjet printers can print on a wide variety of printing materials, such as glossy paper or waterproof material. Now, as far as pricing goes, if you were to look apples to apples and comparable models, inkjet printers tend to be a little bit lower cost than your laser counterpart. And that can make them a great choice for a new or a small business. However, the cost of ink can sometimes really add up. Now, laser printers, on the other hand, tend to offer a little bit more durability, speed, and cost effectiveness overall. Laser printers use a toner that's actually fused into the paper, making them a little bit more durable and able to withstand heat, moisture, and other environmental factors. They also tend to be much faster printing than your inkjet printers, making them a much better choice, at least most of the time, for high volume printers. Finally, they usually require much less frequent ink or toner replacements, so the cost effectiveness of the toner or the ink is usually better with laser printers. Like I said, there are a ton of options out there when it comes to printers, including world-class, unmatched quality, high volume output printers that can cost you $10,000 or even more. But again, I will leave you some more economical solutions in the description box below. And by the way, the printers that I do have listed in the description box below are not an exhaustive list at all. They just happen to be some that I've used myself or know others that have used them. But to be perfectly honest, you can probably start with whatever printer you already have at home. A basic inkjet or laser printer is enough to get you started. at least enough to start practicing printing your own labels at home, and then when you're ready to upgrade, you can. Creating and printing your own labels at home can be a great way to save money early on and offers you great flexibility with your branding. I realize many of you already are aware of or maybe already use OnlineLabels.com, but regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even take a little bit of comfort knowing that a candle business that's been in business for years still uses OnlineLabels.com today. If you like this video or simply want to support the channel, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.